Hey there, and thanks for jumping on today. I'm really excited to have you folks here and really excited to invite you in to the Smarter, Not Harder Mindset Workshop. Basically where we're going to show you how to make digital marketing your career and get clients on demand, build wealth, create freedom, and a better quality of life for you and your family. We're basically going to show you step by step how to get 4 high-paying clients every month and build wealth for yourself. So for those of you that are interested in the possibility of, taking on a different direction with your job and building wealth and having a better quality of life, then this is going to be something that you're really going to love. You're going to be really excited by the time you get deep into this. So if you're someone who is looking to take control back in your life, if you're looking for a different result from life, with work, wealth, and freedom, I'm going to show you how to make these changes today, how you can have a better job, how you can create a better quality of life, and how you can build wealth and freedom for yourself and your family. We're going to show you all this stuff in here today. If you want to take control of all parts of your life with work and personal, you're going to be very excited about what you see here today. So I just want to welcome you and just talk to you a bit about what you're going to see in here today, what you're going to get in here today. So completely free, I am going to walk you through the process I use to build my digital marketing business completely from scratch with no previous experience, and how I got 8 paying clients in 8 weeks. And I had no experience in marketing. I'm not a techie guy. I'm the guy who has trouble programming my DVD player. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So why would you want to get into digital marketing as a career? Well, the facts are going to blow you away here. Studies are currently showing that entry-level digital marketers are making on average about $70,000. And an average digital marketer is making over $200,000 a year. I'm living proof of that because in my first 12 months, I made over $250,000 doing this. And what's really interesting about this industry and what's exciting about it is it's an industry that's crying out for people to do digital marketing. There's a massive shortage of digital marketers. And the reason for that is there's thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses that need this service because advertising and marketing has moved from the old traditional systems to online. Everything's online now. All the print media and radio, all this stuff, all the value is online now. And people are seeing tremendous results from marketing strategies online. And again, like I said, there's thousands and thousands of businesses that need this. It's a billion-dollar industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry, and there's just not enough digital marketers to service the businesses that need this. And let's face it, the industry's here to stay, right? The internet's not going anywhere. And in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be 3 billion more people coming online. Another thing that's really exciting about this opportunity is the barrier entry is really low. And what that means basically is that you don't need any previous experience to do this. All the systems and tools and functions that you use are already developed. They're already there. You just need to drag and drop and plug things in and add content, and off you go. And another very interesting thing to note is, studies are showing in the next 5 to 10 years, 70% of people's income will be derived from online sources. And that's something we already know, right? Because the reality is technology is taking over. Technology is replacing people in the workforce. And the reality is it's already here, and technology is accelerating so fast that this is how it's going to move. So if you're not learning a new skill set that will help you make an income online, you could be left behind and you could find yourself struggling to get a job in the next 5 to 10 years if you're not struggling already, which this is perfect for. So who is this not for? This is not for people who are looking to make $1 million in 30 days. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, so I don't want anybody to be confused by that. This is not an internet scam where, someone's going to tell you, hey, you can make $10,000 today. This is not about this. This is about, someone that has a hard work ethic and is dedicated and wants more for their family. Someone who wants a better quality of life and is willing to put in the time and effort. So who is this for? This is for people who are looking for a better quality of life. This is for people who are looking to escape debt, escape their dead-end job, people that want to be rewarded for hard work. People that want more freedom, want to build wealth, that would like to work from home. This is also for first-timers, newbies, people who've never done this before. Again, like I said, I'm a guy that had no previous experience, and in 8 weeks I was able to get 8 clients doing this. Digital marketers that are struggling to get clients, and digital marketers looking for new strategies, it's also for you, because I'm going to show you my number one sales technique that allows me to get clients on demand. So basically, if I need a client this week, I basically do 5 to 10 minutes of research, jump on the phone, and by the end of that phone call I have a client without really selling to them. It's not an overly salesy pitch. But more than anything, this is for people who are stuck. If you're stuck, and I was stuck once upon a time, this is for you, because this opens the door. This creates change and opens the door to opportunity. Excuse me. So what else are you going to get today? I'm going to show you how to find clients in this. You're going to see how I find my clients in about 5 to 10 minutes. I find 3 different opportunities, and basically I'm going to show you how to get those clients, how to agree to pay you a retainer and to pay you an ongoing monthly fee for your services without really selling. Doesn't that sound pretty cool that I can show you how to do this without having to be really super salesy? And why is this important? Well, it's really important because I know that there's a large group of you out there that are uncomfortable selling. So you don't need to have a sales background, or maybe you're uncomfortable selling. And it's important that you understand you don't have to be really salesy to do this. I'm going to take you in this video inside a call where I do this, where I call up a potential client after doing my 5 to 10 minutes research and get him to agree in that phone call to paying me a retainer of $1,250 up front and $1,000 a month to continue doing this for him. And all I'm doing basically is calling him up, telling him who I am, telling him what I do, how it can benefit his company, and getting him to agree to paying me to do it. The reality is that these businesses are desperate for this kind of service because they need someone to handle their online advertising and marketing. And, they just don't have time for it. They're busy running their business. So we're going to learn also that you do not need any previous marketing experience to be successful at this. And you don't have to be techie to do this either. Again, I'm the perfect example of this. And remember, I had no previous experience when I started, and I signed 8 clients in 8 weeks who altogether paid me $9,500 in upfront fees and a total reoccurring payment of $8,000 per month forever. That's pretty mind-blowing when you think of it. And I know it sounds a bit unrealistic, but the reality is when I show you how I do this a little bit down the road here in this video, you're going to see that this makes complete sense, that it is really this simple, and that there are people crying out for these services, and it's that easy to invite them into your business and say, hey, I'm going to do this for you, and get them to pay you for it. For me, it was transforming. It was life transforming because, the reality of getting 8 clients to pay me that kind of money, the money that I got paid in those first 8 weeks was half of my previous annual income. So for me, it was just mind-blowing. I mean, there was times in that 8 weeks where I was still having to pinch myself saying, wow, is this really happening? It's something that I could literally teach to my 11-year-old, how to do this. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking about that because, it's all online. This is all stuff that's already developed and created, and children are in tune to that techie stuff. The template that I have, they would watch it and be able to do it immediately. That's how simple it literally is. I'm also going to answer any questions you may have as well, because I'm sure you do have a lot, particularly for those who, this is really something out of the blue for you. And then there's those of you that have kind of heard about opportunities to get involved doing digital marketing, and you probably have a lot of questions that you want answered. And so I'm going to show you how to find clients, which is a big one. I will show you how to generate leads for your clients so they're going to pay you every month. That's another really important element, because without your ability to help their business, there's no reason for them to pay you. But I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to explain to you how much it costs to get started. And basically it's free, but we're going to cover that just a little bit here. I will also show you the tools you need and the systems I use every day that allowed me to generate over $250,000 in my first full 12 months of doing this. And remember, with no previous experience, right? I'm also going to dispel any myths that you have or concerns you may have about making money on the internet or working from home. Because let's face it, we all are aware of, the scams or opportunities that aren't real, or opportunities that may seem bigger than what they are. So it's really important that you understand that stuff, particularly when it comes to making a decision like this, because this is a decision that is life-changing. And the last thing you want is to enter into something without knowing whether it's real or not. So I'm going to help dispel those myths for you so that you understand where the opportunity lies here. Basically, by the time we're done here today, you'll be able to make a decision about your future and whether continuing down the same road is the right thing, or making a change that it could impact your future and your quality of life is a better option. And that's a good place to be in life, because, I'm sure we've all heard this before. Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And if you're like me, I was guilty of that for 4 years, where, I was in this rut and I was stuck, and I just kept, repeating this stuff over and over again, going to the same dead-end job and having the same bills hanging over my head. And, nothing was different. Nothing was changing. And that fell on me, because the responsibility to make that change falls on you. It falls on me to break that cycle. And so most importantly, I'm going to answer the question, can I make money doing this? And do I have to leave my job to do this, or can I leave my job to do this? And something about that needs to be understood is you need to ask yourself, the most important thing is, how much do I need to leave my job? How much money would I need to be making on a reoccurring monthly basis for me to say, hey, I can leave my job? Well, for me, when I started doing this, it was $4,000 a month. I needed $4,000 a month to support my family, to pay my bills, put food on the table and cover our costs. And as you can see, based on how I entered into this industry, I got 8 clients in 8 months that were all paying me on average about $1,000 each. So my income within 8 weeks went to $8,000. And I didn't get those clients all like one a week. I got my first client in the first week, and then I think it was 10 days I got 2 more clients, and then in a couple of weeks I got a couple, and then I got one, and I got towards the end, like the last week and a little bit, I ended up signing 3 clients. But in the end, in 8 weeks, it was a total of 8 clients, which and again, so you have to ask yourself, how much money do you need to make before you can make that decision? It's not up to me to tell you to leave your job or do anything like that. You have to figure out what you need. So some people, it might be $1,500. Some people it might be $2,000 a month. Some people it might be $2,500 a month. And based upon our technique, you can do the math on it. If you get 3 clients and you need $2,500 a month, well, chances are you're making $3,000 a month, and that's the time when you make that kind of decision. Some of you, you'll dive right into this. You'll just go all in, and you'll get a client the first week, and off you go. And others, you might do this part-time when you have extra time after working or whatever here or there, and it may take you 4 or 5 or 6 weeks to get your first client. And that's okay, because everybody's going to enter into this at their own pace and their own comfort level. And that's perfectly fine. That's a great way to actually do this. Everything I show you today, including how I find clients and taking you live inside a phone call where I get a new completely cold client that I've never met, never spoken to before, to agree to pay me an upfront retainer and ongoing monthly fees is literally enough that you could start doing this today. You could do this on your own. You could actually make a phone call at the end of watching this video and get a client today. And you'll understand this better once you see how I get clients, how I find them, and how the phone call goes in terms of getting them to agree to work with me. So I know you're asking right now, right? What's the catch? Well, the catch is there is no catch. Seriously, you can take this information and get going on your own today. But just to be upfront and transparent, at the end of this video, there is going to be an offer where you can choose to work with me if you want. And the benefit of that would be I will walk you hand in hand from start to finish, showing you every single step you need to get high-paying clients on demand and build wealth and have an amazing quality of life. By working with me, you are following in the footsteps of a proven strategy, so you don't have to worry about making mistakes, right? I will, like I said, walk you hand in hand right up until the moment you sign your first paying client. So it's basically risk-free for you, right? You don't have to make any mistakes. You're walking in the steps of someone that's been successful at this already. So why would you want to work with me? And that's a great question. So let's talk about my journey for a bit and how I got to this place in time and why I would want others to benefit from my hard work and success. Excuse me. So this is me, JD Cannon. Some people call me John. I answer to both, but this is me and my wonderful little girl, Aslan. And, so basically, who am I? I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a consultant, I'm a coach, I'm a strategist. But, I'm someone who really wants other people to realize what I have. And that is that there is something better out there, that you can make a change, that you can escape being stuck, right? That you can escape this life of, debt hanging over your head and all the stress that comes with it. Because the reality is, it wasn't always this good for me. And I'm just going to go back to this previous slide and talk about this moment in time here. Now, if you look at this is me and my daughter, and this house this photo was taken in was a house that me and my family were actually evicted from. We were 3 months behind on our rent, and obviously there was a lot of bills that came with that we were behind on, and et cetera, et cetera. I trusted the wrong person in a business situation and basically ended up getting ripped off, and ended up my family and I being evicted, and so essentially being homeless. I'm going to tell you right now that this was one of the worst moments of my life, because I had to look my little children in the eyes and realize that, I was not able to take care of them the way they needed to be taken care of. And that was probably the scariest moment in my life, I would say, without question. Because, I just felt helpless. I felt, out of control, and, I felt stuck. And, I had lots of debt hanging over my head. I had an endless supply of dead-end jobs. So if you're like me, you're probably in a similar situation in that, you are in these endless dead-end jobs, and that you're just struggling to pay the bills. I had no vision for the future whatsoever, because I was stuck. I couldn't see beyond that. I was full of stress. I was full of anxiety. It was like this big black cloud hanging over my head, and I was really worried about the future, because I had a family, and I just wanted more. I wanted a better quality of life. And I don't know if that's something that resonates with you, where you're at in your life situation right now. Are you in the dead-end job? Do you have all this debt hanging over your head? Is there no opportunity for you that you can see around you? So if these are things you can relate to, and the stress and anxiety and just worried about the future, I want to reassure you, that there is an opportunity for change, that there are solutions, and you're going to find that out as we go through this process, right? So I knew something had to change, right? I knew something had to happen. And you remember Einstein, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, that was me, right? So I knew I needed to change something. Something needed to change. And if you're like me, I kept hearing how there's, the internet is making more millionaires and more billionaires than at any other time in the history of any other industry in our world. And, and that's great, but, and I kept hearing about all these opportunities, but, the fact is I didn't want to get scammed, and I didn't know how to enter into this situation to try and make money online. I knew I was interested in it. I just didn't want to get ripped off or scammed because my family could not afford another hit like that. And I needed a reliable income because I had a family, I had young kids. So in the process of doing research about trying to get online and make money, I came across a guy who was doing really well online. And when I say really well, he was, not just making thousands, he was making millions online. And, I reached out to him because I knew that instead of trying to figure this out on my own and making mistakes and losing money and, just on and on and on, I knew I needed a mentor or coach, someone that was genuine, someone that cared about me and helping me enrich my life. I knew that was probably my easiest path to success. And so I reached out to this gentleman and sent him a message and said, hey, I'm interested in what you do, and told him a bit about my situation and said, I'm also interested in learning about it so that I can, create success for myself. And so he got back to me and basically he said, he responded in an email and said, hey, I do this all the time for people, and my fee is $5,000 to $10,000 depending on, what type of relationship you want as a coach mentor, et cetera, et cetera. And, for me, that might as well have been $1 million because I didn't just have zero, I had minus, I think it was at the time, $47,521, I think is where we were at, minus with all the debt and everything that we were in trouble with. So I thought about it for a couple of days and, it kind of had me down, but then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to reach out to him again and throw a crazy idea at him. And I said, listen, why don't we do this? I'll work for you for free if you teach me how to do this stuff. So any menial tasks you have, you throw it at me, I'll do it for you. And in return, if you can teach me a bit about this and help me down this path so that I'm not making any mistakes, that would be great. So I sent that back to him. I waited a little while. I'm pretty sure it was about 8 days. And he sent me an email back and he said, you know what, sure. He said, I'll do that for you. Pardon me. And so next thing I know, we get up and we get going. And at the time, my life was pretty crazy, because essentially where I was at was I was working 2 jobs. So, I was working during the day in a restaurant, and I was working a few nights at week delivering pizzas. And now I was working for free for him doing, some really menial tasks. And I was having to try and learn this stuff as well. But, the thing is, I had a lot of clarity. I really sort of understood my path at this point because I was working with someone that, had created success in their life before. And I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, right? He showed me that there was something better out there for me and my family. And, he offered to guide me through this process. So, I just gave myself into it. I said, this is the change I've been looking for. And I walked in his footsteps. I walked in his path to success. And I didn't have to figure this out on my own or make mistakes that could cost me and my family because, let's face it, we couldn't afford it, right? And so I started down a new path, learning all this stuff. And I was very nervous, no questions about it. but I knew I needed to change something. And, as I got deeper into this stuff, it happened. It happened for me. It was my first success, which was basically I signed my first client. Now, what I'm going to tell you about that is that was seriously life-changing for me, because, it was like winning the lottery for me. I was so excited, and it was all because I listened. I followed his path, right? And now there was this better quality of life, or the door for a better quality of life had opened up, because I got my first client. And my life basically changed instantly, and not because of the money so much. I mean, the money was great. The fact somebody was willing to pay me to do this, it was because of this renewed sense of confidence I had, and this feeling of security for me and my family. That's how my life changed dramatically. I was basically reinvented as a new person because of the confidence I had, and the black cloud was gone, right? And like I've mentioned to you earlier on, in the next 8 weeks, I got 8 clients. And just to basically tell you how life-changing that was, so at the end of the 8 weeks, this life I had chosen, and I chose to make a change for myself and my family by creating change, right? This life I chose, this path I chose to go down, this is what it looked like for me and my family at the end of the 8 weeks. So the end of the 8 weeks, where I had 8 clients, and like I said, it was about $9,500 in sign-ups and $8,000 in reoccurring payments, and it was towards the end of the school year, and I basically said to my family, I said, look, we're going on holidays for 6 weeks we went, and we rented a cottage, and this is a picture of that cottage right here. And this is my old laptop. I don't have that one now. I've got a Surface 4 and some fishing gear, obviously. But I said, look, we're renting a cottage for 6 weeks, and that's what we did. We went and we stayed at this cottage for 4 weeks. And basically what life looked like for me then was I would get up every morning, I would go for a run, I would come home, I would jump in the lake, go for a swim, and then I would have a shower, and I would sit down and work for 2 to 3 hours, because all I needed was my laptop and my cell phone in order for me to do my job. That's all I needed, and that's all you will need if you made this decision. And so I would work for 2 or 3 hours, and then I would take the rest of the day off and spend it with my children, and doing things like fishing, swimming, catching frogs, exploring, hiking, campfires right down here, right by the water. We had a campfire, and just living a real new quality of life, an actual quality of life. And the reality is I still did work because I wanted to keep the momentum going that I had created, and get to, continue on this path, because life basically changed for me forever. There was no looking back at that stage. And here I am now, down the road with this great quality of life and an opportunity, to pass this on to other people. But don't get me wrong. Look, there was obstacles along the way, but having a coach and a mentor and someone to guide me through that certainly made it a heck of a lot easier process. And there's obstacles in any job you do, but the difference is now the hard work I put in is rewarded. And my family now has the quality of life that I wanted for them. I want to share this now with as many people as I possibly can. That's where I'm at with it now. I've had my success and continue to still have success providing these services for people. But, I had this kind of aha moment where, I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if I could teach this to other people and they could break free of being stuck and break free of their debt and break free of the black cloud and the stress and anxiety? So for me now, the satisfaction I get as a result of going down this path is helping others achieve their dreams, is helping other people achieve, a quality of life that they're dreaming of every day. Now you can take control of your life. You have the opportunity to break away from, allowing a boss to tell you, when you can start work, when you can stop work, when you get to take your lunch, when you take your breaks, if you can take holidays, how much money you're going to make. You can take control of all that now, and have whatever kind of quality of life you want, and the effort will reflect that. Your hard work will be reflected in the income that you're able to earn now. So what I wanted to do now is jump into this, right, and show you, like I mentioned, all the things that I promised at the beginning of this presentation. So we're going to jump into a call and go into a call, and you're going to hear, how I get this client to agree to work with me and to pay me a retainer up front, with no previous experience. I'm jumping in, complete cold call, no sales pitch, and he's going to agree to pay me a retainer and a monthly payment. And this is going to be really eye-opening for those of you that are concerned about how complicated this might be, or how challenging this might be, or how salesy you have to be. So we're going to do that. We're going to jump into this call right away, and in the call I'm just going to fast forward through some parts of it, because the guy that I'm on the phone with is pretty chatty, and it was actually a longer phone call than I wanted to be, but I'm going to cut it down just to the important, sort of the meat and potato part of the phone call, so you get the gist of it. Anyway, so we're going to jump into that now, and here we go. Okay, here we go. So here we go. Hey, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good for old man, and yourself?
Great. Yeah, not bad. My name is John Cannon. I'm just touching base with you. I'm just looking for a company that can provide and supply security systems in Edmonton that I can pass some leads on to.
Yeah, that would be us. We certainly can.
Okay.
You with?
Sorry?
What company are you with?
My company is Great North Promotions. I'll just tell you a quick little blurb just so you know what we're up to here. So basically we build systems and we get lots of leads for businesses. We have a system running in Edmonton right now for security companies, and the phone's ringing. We just need somebody to pass them on to. But we do have to qualify the people we work with, just because we have to make sure that it's going to work, in terms of, like, it's no good us sending leads to a company that isn't able to service them, right?
Yeah. No, that's one thing we try to find ourselves in, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Especially in Edmonton, like we're up in Fort Saskatchewan, but we do, as far as Calgary, as a matter of fact, I got people in Lloydminster if I need it,
Yeah. Okay, so in the perfect world, like I said, the system is set up primarily for Edmonton and the surrounding area. So that would work for you, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's right in our wheelhouse. We're pretty well half hour anywhere in Edmonton, sort of thing from here.
Yeah. So I'm just going to jump ahead here, like I mentioned, at a few spots to save you all the boring conversation. You do residential and you do commercial systems, is that correct?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay.
We do a lot of. I'm just actually gonna rev up my residential stuff right now.
Okay.
We do probably 85% commercial right now. Like we do a lot of bigger stuff like access. We do a lot of cameras. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Bigger security, but we do a lot of residential stuff as well. Like
Okay.
we use the interactive stuff like 2 gig or Siren XTIs, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So when they want the interactive stuff to be able to see it on their phones and all that sort of stuff, we do that as well for residential.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think a lot of the leads that are coming in right now are residential based. There is some commercial stuff for sure, but I think a lot of it is along the lines of residential. Okay. So yeah. And regarding, so I'm going to jump ahead here a bit more and save you all the boring chit chat. And okay, that's awesome. So yeah, I think it sounds like something that will work well for sure. Just so long as because if we get you a heck of a lot of calls, just so long as it is in your wheelhouse and you can service that, that'd be great. Yeah.
I've got like I was 11 years with Reliance, so I built up a lot of relationships across Canada as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And so we build that sort of thing.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay.
I'm not my own in-house guys. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it will work well then. So I'll just tell you how it works. Basically, the phone number that the people are going to call is a number that we own, and we would just call forward that directly to you. So when they call that number, it would just go straight on to the number I just called. We don't get in the middle of it. It's nothing to do with us. You take the call, the inquiry, you do the quote, you know take the pay, you do all that stuff. We stay out of it. So it's a pretty streamlined system that way. And then what we do is, once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month, however you want it, we just send you a report and say, hey, here's the list of leads we sent you. And at least that gives you something you can take a look at it and say, yep, that phone number did call me, and as a matter of fact, we did get a job with them. It allows you to hold us accountable, basically, is how it works. So obviously, we do look for something from this. Generally, we work on a flat rate, based upon the volume that you're doing. With the other companies we work with, we're generally getting, about $500 to $1,000 a month from them. And it's all guaranteed. So in the agreement, we put in there that if in 90 days, if you don't think this is working for you and there's no value to your business, there's no questions asked. You simply tell us, look, this is not working for us, go away. We'll send you a check back and give you the money that you paid us. No questions, no arguments, no nothing.
Is it an upfront cost or whatever?
Well, there is an upfront cost for the system setup. However, having said that, to alleviate any concerns that you would have in regard to whether I'm just giving you some, slick sales pitch, and because I know you're probably getting 10 calls a day from marketers trying to get money out of you.
100%,
Yeah, so what we do is we'll run the system completely free. You don't have to give us anything. We'll run it for 2 weeks for free, and that way it gives you a chance to take a look at it and say, yeah, you know what, this is working and it's good for my business, so I have no problem writing these guys a check. And what we'll do is, like I said, once a week or at the end of the 2 weeks, we'll just send you an email, and it'll have a list of all the phone calls we sent you, and it'll tell you the person's phone number that called you. It'll tell you the time of day they called you, how long you're on the phone with them, the date they called you, so that you can look at your records and say, yep, that person did call me and we did get a job from it. I don't know what you can get in the house in Florida.
Okay, we're just going to jump ahead here some more. There's a lot of small talk in there that would bore you to death. It was a pretty long conversation. The guy was pretty chatty, as it turns out, and I'm okay with that. It's just no value in it for you guys, obviously.
If you were paying me, say $1,000 a month, how many jobs would you need out of that for it to make sense?
Well, I would probably, if I was paying you $1,000, I would need probably I probably need about 5, I guess.
Okay, fair enough.
If I got to put a salesman on it, right, I got to pay him.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But just for a basic system runs about $450.
Yeah.
$500.
So if I was getting you, say, 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 jobs a month, and you're paying me $1,000, you'd be pretty happy.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be
Okay.
wonderful.
Okay.
It all makes money, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I'm not greedy.
I-
I'm not greedy either. I mean, if it was generating more, well, you know what I mean?
yeah. So look, and again, I
Okay, I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit more.
your first name again?
Name's Ted.
Ted. What I'll do is give me a couple of days here just to get it set up and running, the format and stuff. We've already built the system. It's already ringing. I just got to switch over the software so it's ringing to you. And I'll probably put in I'll look at a couple of your service details and just put it in there so that it's consistent with what you're offering. I wouldn't want it to not be consistent, so that it's representing your company the way it should.
Yep.
Okay, and a little bit further ahead. We're almost done here. 12.
Email.
Yep.
I'm definitely interested. I'm not going to bullshit you. You know what I mean? I'm
Okay,
definitely
yep.
interested, but I want to.
So long as you understand where I'm coming from, that in 2 weeks when I contact you, you're not going to be saying, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." If it's working for you and you want to put an agreement in place, boom, and you pay us, we'll get started, and we'll keep sending you leads. We'll keep it rolling for you, and we'll send you the reports, whatever you want. You tell me, a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever you want.
Oh, you know what? Just
because I'm not asking you for anything. So what can go wrong, right?
Let's try it out.
Yeah. Okay, Ted. What's your email there, and I'll shoot you a quick email.
Just can't do so.
Okay, sorry. And
So as you can see, that was completely unscripted,
so that's the end of it, obviously. And as you can see in that process, there's some key elements in there that we covered, and so just to recap on it, what's important in there is I introduced myself. I told him what we do. I told him that we wanted to do it for him. I told him how he could benefit, and I showed him the value, obviously, and created an offer that is impossible for him to say no to, which is, for one, we'll give him his money back after 90 days if he's feels like it doesn't offer any value to his business. The reality is, I've never had anyone ask me for their money back because what we do works. What we do does generate leads for them. So how can they say no to it? The second element of that call is where we say, we're going to do this for you for 2 weeks, absolutely for free, and so it gives us a chance. Again, it's still risk-free for him, right? He's not assuming any risk, and once we start sending him leads and generating business for him at the end of the 2 weeks, it's impossible for him to say no. How can he say no? 99% of marketers that call these guys up want a check from them today without even proving that what they do works. And the reality is probably 80% of them, what they do does not work. When you look at the yellow pages in different entities like this, people get locked into contracts with them, and after 3 months they're standing there scratching their head saying, what am I paying for? This is not working. But what we do does work, which is awesome. And so at the end of the 2 weeks, because we've already generated revenue for them, we've already generated clients and customers for them, it's impossible for them to say no, right? And so we created an agreement with him already over the telephone saying, yes, I agree to paying $1,250 up front, and yes, I'm comfortable paying $1,000 a month if this is the kind of leads you're generating for me, right? Now, look, it's important to know that if for some reason, and you heard in that phone call, he said he would need about 5 sales a month out of it to be comfortable paying us $1,000. Now, it's important to know that if for some reason, given the time of year when things are slower, like December or whatever, if you only get 3 leads for him that he closes as deals, well, look, you can be flexible. It doesn't mean it's a deal breaker and you have to go away and you're going to lose a client. Just say, hey, look, okay, well, pay me $600 a month this month. But by and large, what you'll find is once you get the systems up and running, the leads are going to be really super consistent. You're not going to have to worry about, whether you're bringing in leads, and you'll see that as you see how all these different platforms and systems work in terms of generating leads. So my question to you is, after hearing that phone call and hearing how easy that went, I'm just having a conversation with someone, right? I'm not pushing anything on them, right, at all. I'm just telling them, this is who I am, this is what I do, I want to do it for you, and, are you interested in that? If someone tells you, no, I'm not interested, hang up the phone and call the next person, right? But the reality is probably, I'm going to say 70 to 80% of the people that I call the first time, they agree to do it. So, boom, you've got your client. So does this feel like something that you could do after listening to that phone call? Well, yes, of course you can, right? Anybody can do it. Anybody can pick up a phone and have a conversation with someone, show them value, right? And give them this irresistible offer that they can't say no to because there's no risk in it for them. What it allows me to do is it allows me to get clients on demand. As you can see in that phone call this guy out of the blue, and boom, I have a client. Do you need $1,000 this week? Do you need $1,250 this month? It's that easy to get $1,250 this month on demand, right? It's one of the best strategies for getting clients that there is out there today, because there's no pressure, it's not overly salesy, and you're showing them a ton of value. You're showing them so much value that they cannot say no, right?
So now the next part of this is you're going to say, well, how do you find these clients, right? Because that's an important element in this. And pardon me, I still got a bit of a cold left over from a bit of flu I had a few weeks ago. But so the way I do it anyway, my system is, and I promised you I would show you this, so I'm going to. Well, and here it is. It's super easy. It's this easy. I find probably 90% of my clients through Google, Facebook, or classified sites. So I'll show you an example of what I mean there. So all I do is, and again, we're looking at security companies, right? Companies that provide security systems and install them, and it comes with monitoring and all the bells and whistles. Is I just type in up here security systems and whatever city. So in this example, security systems Edmonton. And on the first page, you're going to see at the very top of the page all the paid for ads. And you can tell they're paid for because the Google ad symbol is here. So these are people that probably don't necessarily need my help. Doesn't mean they don't need digital marketing services, because I think 70 or 80% of companies do, but this isn't really in my wheelhouse. I'm looking for someone that really, really needs help, that is, their internet presence is really bad. So I'm not really going to look at these four. I'm not going to waste my time at it. And then the next is the Google Maps, and Google My Business only shows the first 3 companies. So these companies aren't necessarily companies I'm looking for either, because they're very well positioned. They're in a position they're holding some of the best real estate on Google, right? And then there's the organic listings just below that. And the first 3, again, I'm probably not interested in. As you can see, these 2 are right here as well. So they're doing really well. They've got some great real estate on here. So they have nothing to worry about at this stage. So where I'm going to go to look for my clients is to the second and third and fourth pages. So these are ads again. So go down to the organic listings. And now you can see in the organic listings the types of companies that you would want to work with. So here's a few here. Here's a bunch, right? Here's some opportunities. And all you do is you click on their websites, open them up, and first I take a look at their website. This is a pretty decent, one of Canada's best managed companies. So that's telling me right now that this is a big brand. I'm not going to go after them. I'm going after the local small business guy. So Paladin Securities. Let's take a look at, I was just there. I apologize. But this is obviously a big brand just based upon what I see on the website there. Austin Security. Let's take a look at them really quickly. Okay, so they have a decent website. They've got a quote form, which is awesome. They've got some great content. I'm looking at the content though, and it's not really embedded with great keywords and stuff. So that's something that interests me right away, because that's one of the reasons why they're not on the first page, is it's not got great on-site SEO. Select Security. Let's take a look at these guys. I like their listing there. Their website is, I've seen better for sure. It's taking a while to load, which is not good. So here we go. I think they're probably someone that could use our help. And what I do to take a closer look at them is I just copy their URL here, as you can see. I'm copy and pasting their URL, and what I do is I go to another website, which is SEMrush, and it will tell me everything I need to know about this company. And I don't know if I did. No, I didn't get their so I'm just going to go back here and refresh that page, and so it's selectsecurity.ca, which I'm just going to put in there. I've got a pretty long thing that I ended up pasting in here from an ad I was posting, but that's okay. We'll get rid of that quickly. And okay, so SEMrush. So we're going to go to SEMrush again. And in SEMrush, now you do realistically have to have an account with this company, but it does allow you a certain amount of free searches. So selectsecurity.ca. So I'm just going to put in selectsecurity.ca. Make sure I spelled that right. Select security, yep. And I'm searching in Canada, obviously. Now, when you're doing the search, all you want is this part of the domain. If the HTTP in there or the backslashes are in there, get rid of them because it won't do an accurate search. And then I just hit search, and it's going to tell me a lot about their presence on the internet. And you see, this is taking me a matter of minutes, right? Like I mentioned, 5 to 10 minutes. So you can see right now, important information. It's telling me their organic search traffic is they're getting 16 people a month coming to their website, which is telling me that they need help dramatically, right? They do have some backlink, which is awesome. I don't see any paid ads. There's no paid traffic, but it'll tell us more about that down here right now. And then it's telling us the keywords that people are finding them. So top organic keywords that people are finding their business through. And as you can see here, Select Security, they're number 2. So that's their company name. And that is irrelevant. Where you want to be ranking is for what you do, not who you are. So what you do, Security Cameras Edmonton, right? They're not ranking on the first page. They're ranking 10th. Home Surveillance Systems, 11th. Edmonton Security Systems, 17th. So they're not ranking, which explains why they're getting, such little traffic. So they definitely need our help. So this is a great example of a company that could use our service to get them leads, to get them a better position on the internet, etc., etc. So this is a company that I would absolutely contact. Now I can keep going on this page and find others, right? I can find this one, and I can go to the next page and probably find some more. And what I do is I try and find 3 that I can help. And then essentially what I do is I will do what I just did now. I'll take a look at how they're positioned, and if they need our help, I make sure that they're not paying for ads. I make sure that they're not ranking on the first page. Sometimes I'll look at their Facebook page to see what's going on there. And you just get a general sense that, they're not really doing well online on the internet. So you can see how simple that is. And obviously there's more in-depth elements to that I could show you. But for the sake of this recording, we don't want to be here all day. So what did you learn from that? Isn't that pretty cool how simple that is? I mean, you heard the phone call. That's got to be really mind-blowing for you, that it's that easy to get a client to pay you thousands of dollars. From that one client, you're going to make $12,000 in a year. Just think about that. Just think about how awesome that is. And most of the work you're going to do is all front-end heavy. So most of the work will be done in the first week. And then for the next 12 months, you're not really doing anything other than continuing to send them their monthly phone call reports or their weekly phone call reports, right? And just make sure all the systems are up and running. So you do all the work up front, and you collect all the money for however they stay with you, right? So, and in terms of finding a client, like I said, not even 5 to 10 minutes. And again, there's a little more research that you'd probably want to know that comes with the training that we offer, obviously. But again, it's not rocket science, right? And if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's important to know that although I had a mentor or coach guide me into my evolution of making money on the internet, a lot of this other stuff I had to find out on my own. And the difference between that and what I do now is in our video program, we show you all this stuff. We show you everything. So I did promise you that I would answer some questions and answer the myths for you. So let's do that. Let's get that out of the way. I want to make sure that I'm keeping my promises. So do you need to be techie to do this stuff? Well, no, you don't, because most of the systems you use are all drag and drop. Anything that you need to build for them to collect leads is drag and drop. Everything's already created. You don't need to know how to write code. You don't need to be techie. It's all there, and we explain it all for you. We walk you hand in hand and show you how to do this. You're basically, doing drag and drop websites and using other platforms like classified sites and Facebook, building a Facebook page for them, and just planting those systems really well on the internet so they're generating leads. And you can see these people aren't in a good position from the example I looked at on the internet. Do you have to know anything about marketing? Well, no, you don't, because again, all these systems already exist. Facebook already exists, Google already exists. Classified sites already exists. Things to optimization tools already exist. You just do the content, put them into these drag and drop systems, and off they go. Off they go out into the world, generating and collecting leads, right? So you don't need to know anything about marketing. But what I will tell you, what you know about marketing now and what you will know in 3 months from now, you'll be able to sit at a table with someone and have a pretty in-depth conversation about digital marketing with them, because you will understand it a lot better after you go through our program and learn everything there is to learn, while we walk you hand in hand and show you every single thing you need to know. So it's pretty foolproof that way. How much is it going to cost? Well, that's a great question. So the way I do my systems is I don't spend a penny right up until the point that I have that phone conversation. So I'll actually do the drag and drop website. I'll create a Facebook page, and you can do all that for free when you do the drag and drop websites like Wix or Weebly, which are the ones I use because they optimize really well for SEO purposes. When you use those systems, they're all drag and drop. You just drag and drop the pictures and write in the content, and that's it. You're off to the races. You can build them for free. It doesn't cost you anything to go inside there and build one, and it doesn't cost anything till you launch it out into the world, and even then it's inexpensive. So I don't spend any money. I do the free drag and drop website and build a Facebook page and do a few other little things right up to the point I have the conversation, because I don't want to spend any money until I have a client agree that they're going to give me in 2 weeks, give me $1,000, $1,250, $1,500, $2,000, right? And so when that time comes and you do get that agreement, it's just a matter of launching that website out there. So for 6 months, you can, Weebly or Wix, you can launch it for 6 months. It's $66. So you've got 6 months worth of hosting covered for $66. Your URL, so say it's securitysystemsedmonton.com, you go and purchase that for $15, which lasts you a whole year. So you're up to $81, right? And then, so that has your website up and running with the URL and the hosting. Facebook costs you nothing to create a page. The only other cost then would be you need a phone number that is your phone number you own, so the leads would call that number, you call forward it to your client, like we talked about in the phone call. That costs you $10 a month. So now we're up to $90. Right? And so you get that all up and running, you have the phone number, you have everything going, and the only other cost you would have, and this is totally up to you, is while you're optimizing things to get the website better positioned, which takes a bit of time, you can do one of two things. When you build with Weebly, they give you $100 free credit for Google AdWords. So you can run a Google AdWord campaign for that 2 weeks to make sure that you're getting leads. You can post in classified sites. We have an auto posting software that will post ads for your client however often you want to post them, every half hour, every 15 minutes, all day long, so the post is always in a relevant position. And you're getting leads through that. And then there's Facebook. There's lots of other elements that we can show you to get leads for this guy. So you guarantee at the end of the 2 weeks, you've generated business for him, he's going to write you a check, right? But there are other elements, there are other tools, and there are other techniques. But that's, so if you wanted to spend money on advertising, even if you wanted to spend $200 in advertising out of your own pocket for the first 2 weeks, what's it going to cost you in total? $300? But at the end of the 2 weeks, you're going to get a check for $1,250, $1,500, $1,000. You're still clearing a minimum $700, $900, $1,200 in your pocket, plus the reoccurring monthly payment, right? And obviously, there's more to learn about getting your lead generation platform, website, and the other tools you have to a better position on the internet, so you continue to generate leads without it costing you a lot of money. And we show you all that stuff, obviously. So that's how much the cost is, but you're not really cost you nothing because you're collecting $1,250 to do it, right? So can you make money doing this? Well, I don't even think I have to answer that question at this stage, because obviously you can make money doing it. I've shown you that inside the phone call. I've told you my own story and how In the first 12 months, full 12 months of doing this, I made over $250,000. And you can see how easy that is, right? If you do the math on it, and with our system, the way it's set up is you can get a client on demand every week. And if that client is paying you $1,000, do the math on it. That's 52 clients a year, all paying you $1,000. That's $52,000 a month plus whatever the retainers. Now, when you get to that level, you're probably going to want to take on some employees, right? Or you may be just someone that, hey, I'm happy with my 20 clients. I'll service them myself and collect my $250,000 a year, right? And the reality is, there's clients that will pay you more than this, depending on the type of industry they're in and depending on the amount of leads you can generate for them. There's clients that will pay you $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month. There's chiropractors and dentists. There's all kinds of people out there that will pay big money because their clients are paying them big money. So should I leave my job? Again, let's go back to that question. How much will it cost you to leave your job? And I think that's the information you should use. And again, I know some of you will dive right into this, boom, jump into it. In the first week, you'll start getting clients. And some of you will just want to pace yourself and make sure you have the security of your job. And that's completely fine. That's completely all right. I'll let you make the decisions on that. Again, remember, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? It requires work. It requires effort and hard work, right? Tools and systems. So all the tools and systems you're going to need, we show you inside our video monologue. So we go step by step with you. They're all in there. You just click on the link, boom, it takes you to it. Here's the tool you use for this. Shows you how to use it. You finish the video, you do the work with that tool, and boom, you're ready to go. All the systems already exist, right? They're already out there. We've already talked about that. Facebook, Google, web builder platforms, classified sites, SEO, all this stuff already exists. You just have to plug it in and make it work for you, right? But we're going to show you all this stuff. And again, you just click on it and use the systems and tools we use, and it's all done for you. You don't have to figure this stuff out on your own. So we touched on finding a client, and I talked about the security systems, obviously. So you're going to want to know, what niche should I choose? What type of companies should I go after? Well, we're going to give you, so you don't have to figure it out, we're going to give you 10 different niches. So 10 different business categories that we know works, that you can go after, that we know that you can go after clients in there and they will pay you. So you don't have to figure it out on your own, right? It's not a good idea to try and figure it out on your own. It's better if you follow a blueprint, somebody that's already done it, somebody that's already proven that this works. So let's talk about the myths about making money online and working from home, right? Again, there's a lot of so-called gurus and experts and professionals out there that give you big song and dance pitches and promise you that you're going to get rich overnight. If somebody's telling you that you're going to, make $100,000, you got to turn in the first month. You're going to turn and run away from that, right? And if they're telling you it doesn't require hard work and you can just, make this happen without doing anything, turn and run from that. Anything that has any value requires a certain amount of effort and hard work, right? So if it sounds like a song and dance, it usually is a song and dance, right? Now, the other thing that you want to look into when you're looking at opportunities online to know if it's a myth, find out if there's any kind of guarantee. If these people are willing to guarantee you and give you your money back. Usually that's a pretty good sign that you're dealing with someone that's pretty above board. If they're willing to, guarantee you that this will work, or they will give you your money back, right? That's a pretty good sign. That's something that I would look for. And usually, again, use your own intuition. If it seems too shiny and polished, and guys, you see pictures of guys driving Maseratis and sailing on boats and beautiful women around them and big wads of money in their hand, I would turn and run away from that kind of stuff, because that's just all, they're trying to get you with imagery and get you to buy into their stuff with imagery, right? So we've answered some questions there. So let's talk about what we've learned here today. Sorry, I'm just going to take a quick drink. My throat's getting a bit dry. So we've learned that there's an opportunity for you to take control, right? Take control of your employment situation. Take control of your income. Take control of your freedom, so that you can have a better quality of life for you and your family, right? We've learned that that's an opportunity by creating the right kind of change in your life. We've also learned that you can get clients on demand. As I promised you, I would show you how to do that. You don't have to be a marketing guru or a tech expert. We've learned that as well. And we've learned that success is there for you, right? It's there for you. And you've also learned that someone is willing to help you, right? Someone's willing to help you enrich your life, bring your life to a better place by offering you a real opportunity. And this is a real opportunity, We've talked about how digital marketers are in need in a big way. We've talked about, and this information is all available for you to research, that entry-level digital marketers are making 70 grand a year on average. The digital marketers, that are in their career are making over $200,000 a year, And we've also learned that we can make money doing this, right? But it's important to know, as I mentioned, the results will vary because, as I mentioned, some people will dive into this right away. Some people it'll take a bit longer. But rest assured that we're here to hold your hand. We're here for you if you need us to help you get to signing that first client. We'll hold your hand right from the start, right up to signing your first client. So as I mentioned earlier on, again, with the information I've given you now, you can pick up the phone and do the research to find a client like I've showed you. You can pick up the phone and use my sales technique, which is foolproof because it's no risk, and you could probably get a client today, or you could work with us. And so let's talk about what's on offer here. Let's talk about the offer that we've got for you. So it's basically a done for you video template. And there's a series of videos, some of them are 10 minutes, some of them are 20 minutes, some of them are a half hour, some of them are a bit longer. And in these videos, we walk you hand in hand from start to finish, right up to the point you get your first client, to show you every single step that we take to get a client, right? Basically, it's an opportunity to change your life, as we've discussed through this. We're going to give you lifetime support, and there's a private members group that you'll be a part of where you can ask questions 24/7. You'll be able to interact with other people doing this. You'll be able to interact with other students we have that are already successful at this and ask them questions. You've got a great support system there for you. You'll also get a one-on-one call with me. And you can choose to have that call anytime you want. So if you want to do it right from the beginning, if you want to do it, after you get started, if you want to do it in the middle, if you want to do it towards the end, you can have that call anytime. And you can use that opportunity to ask any question you want of me. I'm here for you to make sure, or to help you be as successful as you can with this. You can pick my brain and ask me any question you want. We're also going to show you all the systems and tools. So anything you need regarding the drag and drop websites, regarding, anything you need to generate leads, we're going to show you how to make that happen and how to get it up and running. We're going to show you how to pick a niche. Like I said, remember, we're going to give you 10 different niches that we know already works so that you can go after the clients there and find a client there. We're going to show you the mistakes to avoid, right? Because we've already made them. So we're going to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes. You're going to have an access to unlimited resources and updates. So anytime anything new comes on board in digital marketing, or something changes, or there's something new and exciting, we're going to educate you and inform you about that stuff. We're going to give you access to these resources, right? You're going to have access to a weekly phone meeting where you can come on and you can participate in this phone meeting and ask any questions you have of our team or even myself. I'll be on some of those phone calls. And last but not least, we're going to give you an ironclad guarantee. Remember I talked about that, when you're looking for companies to work with in regards to getting into working on the internet or working from home. You want an ironclad guarantee. So basically, if you watch all the video templates, if you do the work in the video templates and you prove that to us, and you're still not able to get a client and you just don't think this is for you after going through that process and watching all the videos and doing the work, we will give you your money back, no questions asked, no arguments, nothing. We'll certainly offer you an opportunity to maybe work with us one-on-one to help you get to that place in time if that's what you want. But if you just are done with it and it hasn't worked for you and you've done the work, we'll give you your money back. So as you can see, it's completely risk-free for you. There's nothing to lose here. But we know you'll be successful with this. But like I said, the results will vary. Some of you will hit the ground running and some of you will take a little longer, right? And that's okay. Like I said, that's completely fine because we all have our own processes and work at our own pace. So what is the offer? So there's 3 options for you in this offer. And the first one is you can make 3 payments of $397 to have access to everything that we mentioned in this offer, right? We're going to walk you hand in hand. You're going to have the done-for-you video templates. We're going to offer you lifetime support, one-on-one call with me, show you all the systems and tools, show you how to pick a niche, show you how to avoid the mistakes, access to unlimited resources, access to our weekly phone meetings, and our ironclad guarantee. So for $397, 3 payments, how can you not make this change in your life, right? Or you can make a one-time payment of $997 and you'll save yourself $191. There's also a third option where you can pay $24.97 and you have access to me. So you get to work one-on-one with me through this process and have me as your main resource, as your coach, as your mentor, all the way through this process. You have unlimited access to ask questions at any time, to set up phone calls, to do whatever you need to make you feel comfortable to get through this process. And, look, having a mentor is a good thing because, having a coach or a mentor these days is a really valuable resource to ensure your success in anything you do. So as you can see, it's a pretty easy opportunity to enter into based upon the way we've structured these financial arrangements for you to get into this. But we wanted to enrich this a little more just so that we could make it so that as many of you are able to get into this as possible, and that's why we've structured such a low monthly payment here. But also what we wanted to do is for the first 10 people that are watching this video workshop today, we want to offer the whole system, the whole offer that we mentioned for everything here, everything that you get in here, lifetime support, a phone call with me, the whole system, on and on and on. For the first 10 people that have attended this video workshop, we want to offer it to you for $697 to get you started today. So the first 10 people, I don't know how long that'll last. It's for today's attendees only. And look, I'm going to tell you right now, I know other companies, and some of you may have researched getting into digital marketing already and know this, but I know other companies are charging $5,000 for the exact same offer that we're making. But we want to enrich as many people's lives as we can, so we know that there's a barrier of entry once you get up around those dollar amounts, and that's why we've created this type of offer where really it's open to anyone. Anyone can get in at these price amounts. And look, to get in at $697 when there's other companies charging $5,000, it's a fantastic opportunity to change your life. To do exactly what I did, to follow in the footsteps of someone that's already been successful at this and take control of your life, to kill your debt, get rid of your debt, to kill that dead-end job, to have a better quality of life for you and your family. But one thing we did want to say is there is limited enrollment in this, and the reason for that is we can't work with 1,000 people and be effective at it, right? So we're limiting on our enrollment. We're not quite sure what that number is going to be, but we'll know when we get there. We'll know when our resources are sort of pushed to the limit, and we'll shut the door on this so that we can be effective working with a small group so that we know that we're being successful and that they're being successful and they have access to us on a level that they need to. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. And so somewhere just below this slide here, you're going to see a sign up where you can just say, yep, sign me up right now, and you can get started today. And we will start sending you those videos so that you can start watching one video, do the work. Watching the second video, do the work. By the time you're done watching the last video, you'll have your system up and running. You'll have a client in place, hopefully. And if you need any support and guidance, guess what? We're here for you. So I hope that everyone's found some value in this today and see that there's an opportunity for you to change where you're at in life. We're excited to be able to present this opportunity to you and enrich other people's lives. And we look forward to working with you and watching your successes inside our members group and outside of our members group. We want to celebrate those successes with you as you get your first client and then start building and getting your additional clients. So we're really excited to walk you through this process and be a part of this with you. And I hope you've found some enrichment here and found some value that will help you change, help you get out of being stuck. Now, there is a Facebook group. We're going to send you an email that you can join where you can ask any questions, obviously, and see successes from other members. But this is your opportunity. And again, I don't know how many people have already signed up, whether the first 10 is still there, but you'll certainly know when you go into the payment area to see if that's still an opportunity. We're excited to offer it to you, and we look forward to getting started with you. Thank you, and we hope you got some value from this, and we hope you have a wonderful evening.